I didn't notice at first. Most people wouldn't, because nothing about the building felt unusual. It was old, sure. The kind of place where the floors creak even when you're standing still. The kind of place where the pipes knock in the walls at night, like something's trying to get out. But it was cheap, it was quiet. That's all I needed. I moved in on a Tuesday, second floor, apartment 2B. There was one unit above me, 3B, but I didn't think much of it. The landlord handed me the keys, showed me around, and that was it. No long explanation, no small talk, just a quick, let me know if anything breaks. First night, I slept fine. The second night, that's when I heard it. Footsteps, directly above me. Slow, heavy, back and forth. At first, I didn't think anything of it. Old buildings carry sound differently. Maybe maybe the floors were thinner than I thought. Maybe my upstairs neighbor worked late, so I decided to ignore it. But the footsteps didn't stop. Not for a while. They kept going, back and forth. Same pattern, same rhythm. Left, right, turn. Left, right, turn. For almost an hour. I checked the time. 3:12 a.m. Eventually they stopped, and everything went quiet again. The next morning, I went out to get coffee. That's when I saw the directory by the front entrance. Each unit had a name next to it. 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. But when I got to the third floor, there was no 3B, just a blank space. I stared at it for a second, thinking maybe the name had just been removed. But every other unit had someone listed, except that one. I shrugged it off. Maybe it was vacant. That would explain the noise, right? Old pipes, settling floors, that kind of thing. Except that night, the footsteps came back. Same time, 3:12 a.m. Same pattern. Left, right, turn. Left, right, turn. Only this time, I noticed something else. There was no sound of a door opening. No sound of movement before it started. No sound after it stopped. Just the footsteps. The next day, I asked the landlord, casually, like it wasn't a big deal. Hey, quick question, I said. Who lives in 3B? He didn't answer right away. Just kind of looked at me, like he was deciding something. Then he said, there's no unit above you. I laughed a little. Yeah, there is. I hear someone walking around every night. He shook his head, slow, firm. There's no unit above you. I didn't push it, but I didn't believe in either. So that night, I decided to check. At around 2:50 a.m., I left my apartment and walked upstairs. The third floor hallway was darker than the rest of the building. One of the lights flickered. The other one was out completely. I walked down the hall slowly, looking at the doors: 3A, 3C, 3D, but no 3B. Just a section of wall, plain, unmarked, like there had never been a door there at all. I stood there for a second, trying to make sense of it. Then, 3:12 a.m., right above me, the footsteps started. But I was on the top floor. There shouldn't have been anything above me. And yet, I could hear it, clear as day. Left, right, turn. Left, right, turn. Directly overhead. I looked up. There was nothing. Just the ceiling. The footsteps kept going. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I went back to the landlord. This time I wasn't casual. I was upstairs last night, I said. There's no 3B, so where's the sound coming from? He didn't look surprised, which somehow made it worse. He just sighed. Don't go up there again, he said. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. I should have left it alone. I know that now. But I didn't. Because that night, the footsteps changed. They didn't start at 3:12. They started earlier. 3:09. Same pattern, but faster. Left, right, turn. Left, right, turn. Over and over. And then they stopped. Mid-step. Like whoever was walking had just frozen. I held my breath. And slowly, very slowly, I heard something new. A shift. Like weight being moved. Right above my bedroom. I didn't move. I didn't look up. I didn't even breathe. Because for the first time, it felt like the footsteps weren't just random. It felt like they knew I was there. The next morning, I packed a bag. Not everything, just enough to leave quickly if I had to. But I stayed because I needed to know. That night, I set my phone to record because I wanted proof. Something I could play back. Something real. 3:08, nothing. 3:09, the footsteps started. Faster now. Louder. Left, right, turn. Left, right, turn. But they weren't staying in one place anymore. They were moving from one side of the ceiling to the other, directly following the shape of my apartment, mapping it. I grabbed my phone, still recording, Slowly, I walked toward the front door. The footsteps followed. I stopped. They stopped. I moved again. They moved. Directly above me, matching me step for step. That's when I realized something. They weren't walking randomly. They were following me. I ran out the front door, down the stairs, out into the street. And for the first time in days, it was quiet. I stayed at a friend's place that night and the next. When I finally went back to get the rest of my things, the landlord was waiting. "I told you not to go up there," he said. I didn't argue, I just grabbed my stuff. Before I left, I asked him one last question. "Why does it only happen at night?" He looked at me for a long time, then said, "Because during the day, it doesn't need to follow you." I didn't understand that at first, until later that night when I checked the recording. At 3:09 a.m., you can hear the footsteps, clear, loud. At 3:11, they stop. And then you hear something else. A voice very close to the phone, whispering, "Found you." I don't live there anymore, but sometimes, late at night, when I'm lying in bed, I still hear it. Not above me, but outside my room. Left, right, turn, waiting, like it's learning the layout again.